What's good, you guys? Your boy Devil here, and I'm back with another reaction video today, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be checking out "It's Time for Triple H to Step Down from WWE" by WrestleMania. The link to the video will be in the description down below. You guys want to check it out for yourself, as always, and be sure to like, comment, subscribe. We're on the road to 500 subscribers. Appreciate everybody that has been liking the videos, commenting, and subscribing. The support means a lot. Let's get for that. Let's go for that 500. Let's go for that 500. But yeah, I want to know y'all's thoughts on this. This is a good topic. Do you guys think it is time for Triple H to step down from WWE? For me personally, I don't know, cause it's just that there's there is some good moments. I can't like the whole product is just trash. But what brings this down, what brings WWE down, is SmackDown. The booking on SmackDown. Like Raw, NXT, they're both thriving, and then you get to SmackDown, and it's just like, do the same people really book this? Really book this? Like, there's just no way the same people book Raw and SmackDown. You know what I mean? So, let's check this out, man. Let me know y'all's thoughts down below on if you guys think it's time for I say HHH, Triple H to step down. And if so, who would you like to replace him if that were to happen?
A Clash in Italy is officially in the books. The consensus coming out of this show is that WWE is just, well, creatively bankrupt. WWE is now going back to the same storylines over and over again. But why are they doing this? And is there anything WWE can do to turn this around? Join us now as WrestleMania looks at why it's time for Triple H to leave WWE creative behind. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. Well, here we go again. When Cody Rhodes conquered Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40, it marked the end of an era. Reigns' record-making world title reign was over, and in theory, this should have marked the end of the Bloodline saga. This was seen by many fans as the final chapter of the saga, and WWE did a stellar job painting this idea, as the main event of WrestleMania was universally praised, and for very good reason. However,
One of the greatest WrestleMania matches of all time. And I'll die on that hill.
To WrestleMania 40, WWE decided to rekindle the faction, albeit in a new form. WWE would have Solo Sikoa take over the faction, and he was eventually joined by new names such as Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Tangaloa. Whilst Fatu was without a doubt the standout of this new version of the faction, fans just weren't that invested in what the group were doing. The group was set up to feud with Reigns when he eventually returned to the company, and when this return went down at the 2024 SummerSlam event, something just fell off. Reigns was now back in the company as a babyface, yet he had done little to redeem himself as a fictional.
Yeah, 100%. Even still to this day. Like, I know he's talking about the SummerSlam thing, can't make us babyface. Even right now, because that happened what was that, 2024 SummerSlam? I think that would have been a 2024 SummerSlam. Even now, he has not really done anything to really be a babyface. Like, he hasn't apologized to anyone that he did wrong during his tribal chief era, to Jay, Jimmy, whoever, Sammy, whoever. And they just kind of grew back in with him. I can understand people's frustration there. Cause me personally, I'm kind of interested in what it looks like having Roman, the Usos with Jacob Fatu. Like Roman having Jacob Fatu, they can just unleash on people. I think there's some interest for me personally there, but I can understand why people are upset with going back to the bloodline thing.
Character. He was still the same manipulative wrestler he always was since 2020. And when the Usos reunited with him for War Games, the Usos basically acted like nothing ever happened.
Facts.
It was weak storytelling and basically undid all the equity that WWE had built up when it came to the Usos as independent characters. But one of the main reasons why Sikoa's version of the faction ultimately failed was that the characters lacked any identity at all. The group would eventually be known as the MFTs, and they would cut ties with Fatu, whilst adding names such as JC Mateo and Tala Tonga. Names such as Mateo and Tongaloa received zero character development during their time in the faction, and they received zero reaction whatsoever from the live crowd.
Facts.
WWE probably just assumed that because these characters were linked to the original bloodline in some way, that they were instantly going to get over with the live audience. This was really short-sighted and rather naive of the company, and this is why it backfired in a major way. Mateo and Loa would be released as part of the post-WrestleMania budget cuts, and it wasn't exactly a big surprise.
Yeah.
WWE had done a huge disservice to the duo, specifically Mateo, who was a huge star in Japan.
He was. And when he made his WWE debut, people were excited. He got a nice pop. People were excited to see what was going to go down. And just nothing really materialized from him coming to WWE. And like I said, it's not really his fault, you know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, you can only do so much as a performer. Well, you know what I'm saying? It's you got to have a good creative, ultimately. And he just didn't. The only one that got good creative really was Solo and Jacob. Those are the only ones that really got good creative. Outside of them, everybody else was kind of mid.
Mateo and Loa would be released as part of the post-WrestleMania budget cuts, and it wasn't exactly a surprise. A lot of fans felt like Mateo was DOA because WWE would give him the atrocious name of JC Mateo before presenting him in the most unusual manner possible in his horrendous debut match versus LA Knight. Mateo, without a doubt, could have been a big star for the company, yet his presentation and subsequent release highlighted that WWE just sometimes doesn't have a single clue what they're doing. Panic stations. Now, throughout 2025, WWE would tease a new incarnation of the Bloodline storyline. At Crown Jewel Perth, WWE would tease tension between the Usos and Roman Reigns, and they devoted an extended post-match angle to this hostility. This didn't go anywhere of note, and the next time the trio was seen on screen as a unit, it was never addressed in any capacity. WWE were potentially looking to do another run of the Usos versus Reigns, but it's possible they realized they only did this 2 years prior, and they needed something fresh and unique. WWE's next bold idea was to have Reigns win the world title at WrestleMania 42. Reigns won the world title in an all-time classic versus CM Punk, and even though the match was universally praised, there was some real concern that WWE were going to have a part-time world champion as the face of Raw.
That was my biggest thing. I said that when he won. I've said that pretty much ever since he won. Like the moment that he won, I was literally, y'all could literally go back in the stream, in the WrestleMania Night 2 stream. And I said, I am cool with Roman winning. The only thing is, Seth Rollins literally destroyed his body to make that a workhorse championship. Like, you gotta be there every week, you gotta wrestle, defend the title. Roman can't hold this title and then stay on that part-time schedule. We have to see him. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you look at SmackDown, I mean, obviously SmackDown, you see their world champion, but even then it's like, outside of that, it's kind of trash. Like, obviously there's some little things sprinkled here and there that are interesting, like Melo, Ricky Saints, but then you got guys like Ilya Dragunov who's just on the sidelines. But with Raw, it's like they don't really know what to do with the world champions most of the time. Like women's world champion, men's world champion, but then everything else is kind of good. And so, with that being said, when Punk was champ, he was defending it. He was there every week. And literally, pretty much everybody that has held that title, the world title, has done that. Been there every week, defended the title. So then you give it to the guy who has the most PTO out of anyone. And, you know what I mean? Like, so there was some concerns from me there. Like, we got to see him. Cool with him being champ. That's awesome. Great. Cool. But he's got to show up. And so far, he has done that. So, props.
Thankfully, this wasn't the plan, as Reigns actually committed to another full-time TV run. However, the issues came from the fact that WWE's grand plan was to simply reform the original bloodline. The Usos would be back at the side of Reigns, showing no agency whatsoever, and undoing all their work over the past 2 years. This especially didn't make any sense for Jey Uso, as just last year, Jey won the world title whilst away from the Bloodline faction, so it has been questioned why on earth he needs the group. Jey has gone from a fun-loving character who yeets to a character who growls at anyone who has an issue with Reigns. He's
Yeah.
become one of the weakest and most unlikable characters on the entire show, and it's a massive shame as Jey is such a likable figure in real life. Coming out of WrestleMania 42,
Yeah, yeah, his character development is very confusing. Um, I mean, this dude manipulated you. Um, manipulated even your brother to go against you, your twin brother. Manipulated even your little brother to also go against you, and you came out of that a star. You left them. They stayed on SmackDown. You moved to Raw and became a star, even winning a world championship. Then, fast forward a couple years later, you reunite with your brother. Awesome. That's obviously was going to happen. That's your twin brother. Obviously, eventually, y'all were going to make up. But then you just go back to Roman like nothing happened. Like he didn't manipulate you for, 4 years. Didn't beat the hell out of you. And all that. So he never apologized. Never apologized. All he did was say yeet. When Jay asked for an apology, I don't know if y'all remember, but when Jay asked for an apology, Roman was just like, yeet. Didn't say I'm sorry, nothing.
We would then
So, yeah, his
proceed with a
character
Reigns
development
versus
has been,
Jacob Fatu rivalry. This was
something.
indeed fresh. However, coming out of Clash in Italy, the majority of fans completely turned on WWE's creative trajectory. They would have Reigns defeat Fatu, and due to the stipulation of the tribal combat gimmick, this meant that Fatu must now worship and acknowledge Reigns. Firstly, it needs to be questioned how on earth Reigns is a babyface in WWE right now. His
Facts.
manipulation and gaslighting has reached a new level. And
Facts.
secondly, it needs to be addressed how WWE has done this exact storyline with Jey Uso years prior. Now, if it wasn't bad enough, WWE would actively tease another Bloodline versus MFT storyline after Reigns' match with Fatu. The reveal
They
received absolutely no reaction from the live
sure
crowd,
did
and
that.
fans called
Yeah.
out WWE on social media. As a common consensus is that they have zero interest whatsoever in seeing this unfold in any capacity.
Yeah.
Right now, WWE could be doing so many new things with Reigns' title run. There's an array of names on the roster that he's never even worked with, yet
Facts.
WWE just wants to redo the same stories
No,
over
I
and
agree. I 100% agree. There's a ton of names that we have not seen Roman Reigns get in the ring with. And I would love to see them get in the ring with Roman. I mean, you got guys like Oba Femi, but at the same time, I feel like they don't want him to lose no steam. I don't think he will. I mean, it lost to the world champ. But to me, at the same time, I feel like if you put Oba Femi in a match against Roman Reigns, I feel like Oba Femi got to get that dub. He's over. And I mean, and then like the world title, I mean, if you want to continue doing this bloodline stuff, the bloodline story doesn't need the world title. Roman Reigns is a big enough star. Jey Uso, Jacob Fatu, and obviously, Big Jim's kind of just been the sideline watcher, man. Honestly, and I would like to see something there, like maybe Jimmy's like, hold on, Roman, you don't trust me? Like, why don't I ever get these shots that Jay gets, that Jacob gets? Like, stuff like that. Like, that would be cool to see, because, I mean, Jimmy's good. Good on the mic. Does well in the ring. So it'd be nice to see him get a little singles opportunity, but we'll see, man. We'll see.
over again. What happens when it backfires? Who will be blamed? Will it be Reigns? Fatu? It's going to be an interesting few months if fans begin to reject the storyline on TV. And one thing's for sure is WWE is clearly out
They're not
of
going to,
ideas,
though.
and they're assuming that rekindling
They
the
love
same
Roman.
bloodline storylines will revert the company to the heights of 2023 or 2024. Whilst a lot of fans are blaming Triple H for this, it has been claimed that Reigns has some creative control in WWE, so it's possible that he's pushing for these types of storylines involving his family. Pro wrestling is a unique medium, as every time that a wrestling company is trying to recapture the magic of a successful time period, their solution is to redo the exact same storyline and gaslight the audience into thinking that they're seeing something new.
Yeah.
WCW did this time and time again with the New World Order faction, and by the time the year 2000 came around, the faction had lost all credibility, and it was seen by fans as a total joke at that time. WWE has also been guilty of this as well for decades. In the 90s, the Vince McMahon versus Stone Cold Steve Austin rivalry in essence saved the company, and it was one of the biggest reasons why the Attitude Era was so successful. And it was why pro wrestling became an ingrained part of pop culture in that same period. McMahon
Yeah.
would then try to redo the babyface versus evil authority figure storyline every single year for the next 25 years in some capacity, and
Yeah.
it never once
Facts.
took off to the levels of Austin versus McMahon. While it is understandable why wrestling companies such as WWE do this, they do need to learn from history. The company needs to develop new compelling storylines, as pro wrestling fans aren't stupid. They're
Yeah.
incredibly loyal and
Well,
will stick through the show even when it's completely horrendous. But they also need to
facts.
be rewarded with unique, engaging storylines, as that's where the company thrives and prospers. Is Triple H really the issue though? As following Clash in Italy, a lot of fans were calling for Triple H to be replaced as head of WWE Creative. Is this rational? Well, it's evident that the game has lost its way over the past 12 months. The game has been focused on other projects, and last year he even missed Raw to attend a Netflix comedy special taping. When pressed about something that occurred on Raw, he had absolutely no idea what the interviewer was talking
Yeah, I
about.
remember that.
WrestleMania 42 was also a big sign that Triple H was
Tyrese
struggling with the
Halliburton
role.
asked him something.
The WrestleMania match card changed literally
No,
every
I
week.
do remember that. Tyrese Halliburton asked him about. I think he asked him about something about Io Rhea, something that involved Io and Rhea, and Triple H like I hadn't got a chance to watch it, so I don't know. That was crazy.
And talent just weeks away from the show was stating in interviews that they had no idea what they were doing on the show. Granted, WWE had a ton of injuries to deal with, yet a lot
Yeah.
of matches weren't affected by injuries and they were still changed a number of times. The WWE title match went from Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns to Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre to a fatal four-way to then Rhodes versus Randy Orton. Even this final match had to be changed as TKO insisted that WWE insert celebrities such as Pat McAfee. It was
Oh
a
my
total
god.
mess. A lot of the blame does fall on Triple
Don't
H,
remind
yet there are
us.
clearly wider issues at hand. TKO are likely getting to him, as he's unable to deliver what he wants with top storylines as they keep butting their heads in.
And that is something that I also wanted to say at the start. And I don't feel like it is 100% his fault. I'm not trying to kiss his ass or whatever, but like we saw with Cody and Randy, TKO inserted themselves and said, "Hey, Pat McAfee needs to be involved in this." Did he actually need to be involved in there? Hell no. He made it worse. But because they're the top of the top and nobody's really above them, they can pretty much do whatever they want. They can insert themselves into whatever storyline, insert whoever they want in whatever storyline, and just kind of mess things up. And so that's why I'm saying, like, I don't think it is 100% Triple H's fault on why, things don't make sense. Obviously, is he a perfect booker? No. Perfection obviously does not exist. And he has his fair share of blunders. But I just can't blame him 100% of the way because we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know if TKO is getting involved in certain things. We don't know if TKO is pushing for certain things. And then Triple H kind of has to go along with it because they are his boss. So we don't know. So we can't really point fingers, you know what I mean? Because we don't know. Or we don't even know if TKO is not getting involved at all. And this is just what it looks like from Triple H. We don't know. So
Even
it's hard
WWE
to point
champion
fingers.
Cody Rhodes referenced how TKO were meddling with his storylines every year, and
Yeah.
this became such a talking point amongst fans that WWE integrated it into a WrestleMania main event storyline. There's also been some issues with attendance. Both the recent SmackDown and Raw that took place in Europe had areas topped off, as these seats in specific areas hadn't even been sold. WWE failed to budge on ticket prices, and this is the result. WWE
Yeah.
is still charging substantial amounts of money for a product that isn't at the level it was years prior. And this is
Facts.
such a strange business call. It's almost as if TKO believes that if they keep ticket prices the same, they can trick fans into thinking that they're getting a strong product.
Like, come on, bro. Now, I will say if you pay to go see a Monday Night Raw, you could potentially be getting your money's worth. But if you go to watch a SmackDown, then I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you that you're better off just staying at home. Damn near. I mean, now I will say I've been to live shows. The atmosphere of a live show is you can't beat it. Obviously, if it seems trash at home when you're watching on TV, it may not seem that way when you're there live, because obviously you got to deal with the commercials when you're watching on TV and things like that. So, but I don't know, man. Maybe they need to take some risks. I don't know, but they need to spice something up, especially as far as SmackDown goes. And the ticket prices, we know we've talked about those. Biblical levels agreed for no reason. $1 billion company. There's no reason for you to be greedy. And this is what it looks like when you are greedy. You have people that are switching to AEW, people that are switching to TNA. You have people that are not attending anymore. I mean, this is just a hole that let's be real, WWE dug themselves into this hole. TKO, WWE, whoever you want to blame. You can't charge an arm and a leg for a SmackDown, for a current SmackDown. You just can't. You can't. Because what are they going to get? What are they truly going to get? The show is buns. I don't even do live streams for it because I'm not going to force myself to watch that crap. Love wrestling. Always will love wrestling, and will love WWE as well. But I'm not going to force myself week after week to watch that crap. Because you can't tell me, you can sit up here and tell me I should turn on the stream, act like I'm entertained by what's going on, even though there's only probably 3 things out of a 3-hour show that I'd actually be interested in. Whereas Monday Night Raw, I was like, when we did the watch along to Monday Night Raw this past week, I was interested. I was interested in everything that was going on. I was tapped in. I was locked in. But then I can't do that for SmackDown, and I cannot force myself to do that for SmackDown. And I'm not gonna stream that and just sit up there and just damn near fall asleep. Like, let's be real. Like, SmackDown is not good, and they just gotta fix that, man. Ticket prices, creative direction.
Super rich fans to attend their shows.
Maybe take a risk. Maybe have Gunther beat Cody. I don't know.
Such as sitting at the commentary desk or making pasta. Yet WWE has never truly been about this, and it's definitely short-sighted. And ultimately, there are countless issues with WWE right now. Yes, the creative is stale, and yes, Triple H has clearly had enough. But how are these issues addressed? Replacing Triple H isn't going to suddenly turn things around. And who do you even replace him with? It's a total mess, and it's hard to come up with a solution that is going to turn the company's fortunes around. What do you guys think? Is it time for Triple H to go? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.
Oh, there you have it. It's time for Triple H to step down from WWE by WrestleMania. Like I said, let me know y'all's thoughts. Do y'all think it's time for him to step down? And if so, who do you even replace him with? Because like I said, I can't put 100% of the blame on him because we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. We don't know if TKO's like, hey, push for this bloodline story. See, because like right here, maybe they're looking at some type of chart or something and like, see in 2023, 2024, we had great viewership, sold out shows, and of course during that time, bloodline story was at the front of it all. So let's go back to that. Try to get that popularity back or whatnot, and boom. So Triple H, get in there, show us how you do it. We don't know. That could be what's going on. We genuinely don't know. But yeah, like I said, man, I will always love wrestling. It's gonna be hard to break my love for wrestling. But like I said with the SmackDown thing, I'm not going to force myself into watching that, and I'm not going to force myself to just go live and just be bored. You know what I mean? Just be bored. Like obviously I'm not gonna say that SmackDown as a whole entire show is just dog crap. It's not. There are interesting things. There are interesting characters. There's Trick Williams. There's what just Cody Rhodes. I'm enjoying what Carmelo Hayes and Ricky Saints are doing. Uh, Gunther. I rock with Gunther. But it's just like obviously Rhea, Jade, Charlotte. I rock with what they got going on. But it's just Julia as well. I rock with Julia. Kiana James. Like there's a lot. Like I rock with a lot of the SmackDown roster. But like I said, it is not on the performers. It is on the booking. But yeah, that's it's time for to step down from WWE. Let me know y'all's thoughts. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. We're on the road to 500 subscribers. Each comment, like, subscription gets us one step closer there. So be sure to do so. I appreciate all the love and support you guys have given me thus far. And yeah, like I said, let me know y'all's thoughts, man. Love you guys, and I'll see you guys next time.